Imagine two small-town teenagers, once arguing over pizza, somehow drifting into a cross-border smuggling ring. They moved millions in contraband, rented mansions, and triggered events ending in wiretaps, raids, and prison. It sounds like a crime drama, but this story grips us not for glamour, but for its painful ordinariness. It's about the need to be liked, the lure of quick status, and the myth that money fixes loneliness. This is a cautionary case study on risk, psychology, and consequence, presented safely. The tale begins in a picturesque lakeside town where organized crime seemed impossible. The central figure was a kind teenager known for humor and helping neighbors without reward. He struggled in school, drifted to delivery shifts, craving approval beyond report cards. Popularity by proxy felt like acceptance, guiding him in the worst direction. The shift to entrepreneurial ambition wasn't planned in a boardroom. It grew from idle talk, a magazine article, and naive arithmetic of buying low and selling high. They had youth, determination, and underestimated nature and law enforcement. Their most sacred role was to keep parents in the dark. This rule ensured adults couldn't intervene until it was too late. As transactions succeeded, the pace quickened, reinforcement, escalation, normalization. Revenue doubled, friends became couriers, and a delivery job turned into managing operations. Night hikes and long drives were reckless gambles with weather, wildlife, and constant border surveillance. Adolescents judged safe enough by past success, mistaking survival for invincibility. Every success widened the blind spot for the next failure. Money changed their social ecosystem, creating contradictions impossible to hide. New cars appeared without explanation, and lake houses became private clubs. The motive to be liked morphed into a desire to be feared or awed. When bravado mixes with intoxicants and firearms, bad decisions are inevitable. Expansion required logistics and people, swelling the group to dozens. It looked organized, but it was friendships under unbearable pressure. No one had contracts or conflict training, and most hadn't faced police scrutiny. Competition arrived predictably, with another operator targeting the same market. The rivalry began as minor disputes, hardening into grievance. In illicit markets, there are no mediators, only rumor, intimidation, and escalation. Plans went beyond theft, with would-be enforcers auditioning for a job that shouldn't exist. The scenario collapsed with mistakes, misinformation, and violence that solved nothing. The plot didn't unfold like a screenplay. A robbery tipped everyone off to larger threats. Paranoia replaced arrogance, but not wisdom. The rival made catastrophic choices and became a victim. The tragedy alerted investigators to the scale of what was happening in the quiet community. When a body is found, priorities shift from abstract contraband to serious enforcement. Agencies coordinated, federal authorities took interest, and surveillance intensified. Pressure transforms groups. Some go silent, others brag, some quit, others push on. The first raid signaled the closing window for good choices, seizing cash, substances, and weapons. When handcuffs appeared, loyalty gave way to cooperation, a structural observation, not a moral judgment. Conversations were recorded, bank records assembled, and timelines linked everything. Their adolescent game was revealed as an unlicensed cartel, treated accordingly by the legal system. The organizer surrendered, the myth of his circle clashing with the reality of a weary young adult facing federal agents. Prosecutors framed it as a deliberate criminal enterprise, not a misadventure. A plea avoided trial, but not incarceration. The sentence was measured in years. Analytically, adolescent approval is a risk vector. When conventional paths are blocked, alternative economies offer counterfeit prestige, rewiring identity. Economic arithmetic in a notebook ignores unlisted costs. Hidden costs included constant stress, fractured family relationships, and empathy erosion. The copy and paste glamour of popular culture accelerates this, making antihero poses feel like armor. But chains don't confer power, they advertise insecurity, becoming liabilities in court. Enforcement is
Often patient, documenting and mapping until a case is overwhelming. Pressure arrives everywhere: phones, cars, houses. Prosecutors don't need cinematic confessions. Violence is a structural feature of illicit markets. Disputes migrate toward threats without lawful arbitration. The rival projected dominance, but ended as a cautionary statistic.
No one was safer or richer for long. The story didn't end at sentencing. Some rebuilt lives through legitimate work, showing rehabilitation is vital. Illicit success is a short thread tied to long consequences: lost time, ruptured trust, and a shadowed reputation. True crime culture packages cautionary tales as
Entertainment, a media dimension to consider. Responsible storytelling resists flattening complex lives into simple archetypes. It highlights off-ramps, moments where a conversation could have changed everything. Early warning signs included secrecy about money, dramatic lifestyle changes, and tough guy personas. Compassionate confrontation, though uncomfortable, is a form of care. Youth organizations, job training, and mentorship compete with illegal enterprises' counterfeit community. The most important lesson is about the hunger for approval. If purchased by endangering others, it's exploitation. What remained were relationships forged before bravado, kindness, family visits, and job offers. The legal outcome balances individual accountability with hope for reform. The central figure built a lawful business and family, not erasing the past, but not condemning the future. This shows misapplied determination can be redirected to constructive goals. The most dangerous fiction is believing a perfect life can be engineered with shortcuts. Building skills, earning trust, and contributing to community may not attract crowds, but it creates lasting popularity. For those tempted by outlaw glamour, remember this case. Freedom in Chapter 1 becomes a cage by the end. For those on a risky path, choose the long road. Turn to those who value you. Ask for help. It's the only road not ending in a courtroom, cell, or controlled headline. Please like and subscribe our channel.